Hello and welcome. You're tuned to The Leg Up, your weekly thoroughbred preview show, best hour of trackside television, presented by the TAB. Joined in studio, as always, by Paul Mawade and Stephen Hunt. Good morning to you, Paul.
Morning, Thad. Yeah.
How's tricks?
It's a busy old time, isn't it?
It is.
There's a hell of a lot going on. Even with the wee bit of weather that we've had around down this part, obviously, Trentham delayed by a few days. We got there in the end.
Yeah, and World Cup kicked off this morning as well, see?
Certainly did. Mexico, yes, nice 2-0 win over South Africa. A few red cards as well. Yeah, it was all on.
I'll be having a look at those cards markets. Good morning to you, Steve. False start out at Trentham on Saturday.
Yes, false start meeting was postponed from Saturday, obviously, to Wednesday in conjunction with the synthetic at Riccarton. Look, they made the right decision. There was, 70-odd mils leading into Saturday, surface water on the course proper, including the steeples course. So, and there was rain on Saturday as well, which didn't help. So, as I say, the right decision was made, push it back 3 or 4 days. Still very testing, a genuine heavy 10, probably the old school of a heavy 11. So you had to look for those horses that were fit and had performed at Trentham previously. And happy start, winding back the clock, taking out the hurdles. Never looked back. He was an established hurdler leading into this preparation, but now he's ticked the box in terms of the higher jumps, so he won the chase, opens up plenty of doors for that individual. But I think across the card, you look at the two maiden hurdlers that won early in the program, Tudun Cans, etc. I think they're horses worth following throughout the winter, but in particular, Wellington Hurdles and Steeples is literally, 10, 11 days away at Trentham. And you look at the flat horses that perform so well, the likes of Explosive Force, I'm a Brazen One, who's now ticked that vital box down the chute on a heavy 10. I think a lot of these horses will be gravitating towards Trentham on that particular day, and they'll be awfully hard to beat if they can replicate what they produced on Wednesday.
For sure. Let's head north. Say good morning to Brendan Popwell. You were the only show in town last weekend, BP, at Ellerslie, and fresh off another edition of Out the Gate, where Pip Morris took the chair last night.
She did, yes, and she enjoyed her trip to Profitland as well. She was very much welcomed as well. Everyone was a little unsure seeing a new member arrive into Profitland, but she was welcomed with open arms because we came with $42,000 as well in the back pocket. So it was a great celebration, and 5 on the bounce. It was a heck of a lot of fun, and Pip did a great job. And yeah, you're right. Only show in town last week with Ellerslie, and I actually thought we saw some pretty good racing on a track where it took a lot of heat in terms of the weather and still raced well, and maybe a little bit of a sighter towards maybe race meetings coming up out of Ruakaka. We saw a really good win with She's No Saint. I thought beautifully ridden by Wiramu, got to the front, a horse who'd competed in a Karaka Million. Fly My Way was really good as well on the program, so I feel as though we're going to see a little bit more of those horses, and we'll be back at Ellerslie next week for, of course, the Winter Championship Day to wrap up their racing season. So can't wait for that. But there's a lot in front of us this weekend with Te Rapa, a bumper card, and how strong are those two jumps races. Stephen spoke about the Manawatu Hurdles and Steeplechase run on Wednesday. We've got the treat of a Waikato Hurdles and Steeplechase. That Steeplechase field's outstanding. West Coast in their leaderboard, Ned win. A lot of fun to be had. Can't wait to get onto the track tomorrow.
I just want to ask BP. He's made so many visits to Profitland. I want to know, does he have his own private car park there now?
We do. We certainly do. We're certainly looking at some property there as well. So, but yeah, we came back with some extra Toblerones for everyone. Seems we made so much money.
Setting up shop permanently. I like it. There's the cash register. BP, maiden of the week time. What have we found?
Be a lovely place to set up though, wouldn't it, full time, but that's not always the case, but we can go to Maiden of the Week. Yes, a race we highlighted last week, and Manalete sat in a position where speed was on up front, was able to cut the corner grills and then just work out into the centre part of the track and do a really nice job. Just one of those horses that had been knocking on the door in some really strong maiden races and was able to prevail. I thought Early Chair in second position here did well. You have to also respect the third horse, Capote, as a runner next time to the races. And you've got Out Wide and Watermelon Sugar, and even the Ruffy fighting on into fourth position as well out of Natasha Otto's barn. That have been Mafia Whispers, who went round at a big price. But Early cheer, you'd have to say, is probably not too far off the mark with those recent placings, and Manolete delivering for punters, and also for Stephen Hunt too, who made it his best bet. So we've made that the maiden of the week.
Yeah, well done, Steve, to you. Manolete getting the job done, and yeah, it was impressive in the end.
Yeah, it was. As BP said, just had the right grounding, coming out of the right races, got the job done, albeit a small margin, but I think that's banking on the horses that just finished in behind worth following, which BP's eluded.
Yeah, okay. Let's head to Te Rapa. It is the hurdles and steeples day. I'll get it out, but before we get to the races on the card there we're going to have a look at, let's talk weather and track, Steve.
Currently a soft 7. You can see there graphically. Rail out 4 metres. Go back to the last meeting, which was literally 2 weeks ago. The rail was in the true. It was around that soft 5 mark. I think Te Rapa as a whole plays better with just a little bit of fire out of the track, which we should get. Look, it's not going to race any worse than a soft 7 between now and the back end of Saturday. There's little to no rain, so possibly an upgrade between now and race 1. So, yeah, all bodes well. The track should play even. Yeah, we forget about last weekend's weather, and we're back on a soft 7, potentially a soft 6. The first race we're going to have a look at is race number 8 on the card. It's the Thanks Bernard Kneebone, 25 years on the clock handicap, the Open 1200. Yeah, headed by Force of Nature, has to lump the 60 kilograms, albeit has the services of Craig Grills at $4.50, a little bit of love at $4.60. Tri-Start $5. Miss Bo Peep, the stablemate of Tri-Start, 6.5. Kia Kaha, last start, impressive winner at 9.5. Then double figures around We Ward Smile, who's first up for Gina Mahoney. Jethro Toll at 15s, and best of the rest is the Old Boy and Dusty Road at 21s. Again, a very static market, little money thus far. Okay, BP, we're going to go to the Open 12 last time out, where we see Tri-Star and Force of Nature competing. I think Vegas Queen got the chocolates this day, and Tri-Star was quite a short-priced favourite, or short-priced commodity in this.
Look, she was very well found, and that was off the back of her performance in 75 grade, where she got back and was beaten by the stablemate and Miss Bo Beep. There's a couple of things to talk around this race. When a runner gets back and is, flooding home, and almost you walk away going, gee, what could have been? So then the next start, you're drawn well, you try and make the most of it, and they've obviously done exactly that. They've tried to take more of a position in a smaller field, open handicap, by sitting in a trailing spot. And sometimes maybe that was a little against her natural pattern, because she is a horse that I feel as though is at her best when she can have that last shot at them and sort of roll into the race. And maybe she gets that chance here on Saturday, because it does look like a race where there's a lot of speed here. She's drawn in barrier number 10, and there's a good chance here of just getting her back, relaxing, and having one last shot over the top, because the speed can come from Sienna Brown out wide with Cleat, 4 kilos coming off, and then you've got runners like Kia Kaha, you've got Miss Bo Beep, who's got drawn low in barrier number 4 that will look to take a position. Takashi as well, Caitlin's Wish has been one of those horses that's been a noted leader. So there's a lot of early pressure. I'm not saying all of those horses go forward, but if you get 2 or 3 of those that want to press forward, and a little bit of outside pressure from a 4 kilo claimer, just might mean there's some heat in the race, which could help Tri-Star at the end. The other key runner in that video is Force of Nature, who does love Te Rapa. He's a stakes winner of a Legacy Lodge. We're just trying to find his best form. He's drawn in barrier number 1. He'll carry the 60 kegs. A little bit of forgiveness in the ground won't be a hurt for him. So he has to be a danger if he finds that best form that we've seen from him here at this venue. Yeah, I thought BP just fractionally disappointing off the first up run at Otaki, Force of Nature. Yeah, he was, because he bounced out of a very good race, obviously, first up to the races, and we probably expected better there. But maybe just that chance of getting toe in the ground. He's drawn well, so they'll be hoping they can try and take some sort of position. And look, if he found his form like he was winning a Legacy Lodge, he'd be right in this. Yeah, I agree with that. I sort of want to be on him. He's got the 60.5, and I'm expecting improved performance, no doubt, from Force of Nature. What about a little bit of love, Paulie? This is the 1,400 metres. This was on a soft 5 this day. Good old Butterfield, one of BP's old favourites, finishing 6th.
Exactly. Well, let's start with Butterfield first, who kept sticking on along the rail there, hanging on for 6. Look, down at 52 kilos on Saturday, it certainly could surprise, and if you're going to take a same race multi, you may want to include him as a top 6 or 7 prospect. However, a little bit of love, I thought. Look, in behind, what was it, Bright Stripes, who was listed, has been placed at listed level in Ireland, so there's some form to take out of that. And I thought Little Bit of Love did very, very well to stick on. Sam McNabb aboard, so we get a wee bit of weight relief there, down to 57.5. Certainly he will be in it.
Yeah, he sort of ticks that box for on the soft 5 as well, I thought, because I was thinking, maybe he needs it wetter, but wasn't a bad effort on an improved track, I thought.
No, he looked very, very comfortable in those conditions, and I don't know, with the weather not looking too bad, we might see a wee bit more improvement in that track.
Yeah, could do, but could we get back to that 6? What about the stablemate of Little Bit of Love, Steve? This is Miss Bo Peep. This is the resumption at Te Rapa, and when she's in this sort of mood, hard to catch. TriStar finishing second.
Yeah, she drew a wide gate this day, came across, led at a very solid tempo. It was far from a crawl and sprint, Thaddeus, and kicked hard to beat her rivals, including the stablemate and race rival in TriStar. Look, the overall race didn't change great much up the straight, and basically excluding TriStar, who did come from back and ran home the best closing sectionals. Look, in terms of the weights, Miss Bo Peep drops to 57 this day to 54. Knowing that it's a step up to open class and meets TriStar 1 kilogram better off. Since then, she has disappointed, albeit what it was at Ellerslie, and I think probably she's a fraction better left-handed, in particular at Te Rapa, where 2 of her 4 wins have been from. So the only trepidation around her is we know that she's a horse that likes to land on speed and control the race, and BP's already mentioned there's 2 or 3 horses that are going to push forward, the likes of Kia Kaha, Jethro Tull, Cleat, Takeshi, just to name 4 or 5. So, which again, you go back to TriStar, who came out of that footage, she'll be clearly suited. Just not sure with TriStar. I've always been, it's always been hard to know what her best track conditions are. I kind of feel she's adaptable in all conditions, but when she gets to a better side of soft, a lot of horses in this particular race are going to come right into it, where if it was on the worst side of soft or borderline heavy, she would have got through it better than most, and it would have taken some of her key rivals away from that. So I don't know. I just reckon she might have been a better play with a bit more rain, purely because it would have taken a little bit away from her key rivals. But like I say, she is adaptable in all conditions. Okay, last race replay we want to have a look at. This is the trial BP. A couple resuming here. Reward Smile for Jenna Mahoney wins it. Caitlin's Wish, very adept in winter conditions, finishes 3rd.
She is, and she'll get Tom Wigram's claim of 4 kilos as well, bringing it back to 53 kilograms. So that's going to be a big help for her, and a couple of hit-outs at the trials to get her ready, where she has performed first up. Reward Smile wins this very comfortably, though. Wins by 5 lengths and is under a pretty nice hold here by jockey Masahisa Zumi. Widemu Pin takes the ride on the weekend. He's won first up, and off the trial, he's ready to go first up too, with how he's won that. So he's drawn low, and he has a chance to be able to tuck him behind. Pretty decent speed here, as we've spoken about. The speed looks to be in play here. So if he's a runner that can jump well and assess, sit in that first 4 or 5 without having to do too much work, look, it becomes a chance off that trial, and he's hovering at a price that could make him backable at around that $12. I've landed with TriStar, and I've landed with TriStar with that speed in the race that we spoke about, and just hoping that she can finish strongly. Yes, Stephen's right. If it was a heavy track, you'd probably double your bet, to be honest with you, because I feel as though she is a runner that is really adept in heavy track conditions, but she has strong performances on good tracks and soft tracks, and I just like how there's speed on. I want her to relax and just have one final shot. So I'll run with her as my bet in the race. Miss Bo Peep, I think, performs well here. Yeah, if she doesn't find the lead, she's going to be close to being on speed, so maybe she becomes a top 4 prospect. Top 3 TriStar, top 4 Miss Bo Peep, spits out at 475.
Very nice little same race. Molesey, that trial impressed you enough, Steve?
Yeah, it did. Look, overall, the confidence is just lukewarm, but I'll land with Reward Smile just from a soft gate. I mean, you go back to last preparation, she got going early in the preparation, she won second up. Or he, should I say. He was only beaten 1.5 lengths to Swaney's Day last preparation, was 5th in a stakes race at Trentham down the TAB chute. So, look, I think if he brought any of that kind of form first up, knowing that he probably has improvement in him, but off that trial, I think he's probably not too far off the mark. And yeah, but like I say, it's a pretty even race.
It's a very competitive race. You might have one we haven't even mentioned, Paul.
Yeah, I don't know why. No, well, actually, I do know why.
You better know why.
Yeah, I do know why. I've gone with Kia Kaha here. I did like that win last time at the track, at the distance. Look, it's a big step up in class, but I think she's got the ability to handle it. I'm sure Courtney will look to take her forward, take all luck out of the equation, and that's where I want to be as we come around the turn into that Te Rapa Straight. So, yeah, kia kaha for mine at around $9, $9.50. So I think.
And Stephen Marsh, we trust. You're a big Marshy man.
Why wouldn't you be?
Well, that's a good point.
Exactly.
You make a very valid point. Look, 3 different tips tells you all you need to know in a very competitive open 1,200 metre event.
Hey, I got a lot of faith in you. I'll stick with you, kid, that's the bottom line.
Lance O'Sullivan Award time for another week. Jockeys gather around their TVs throughout the country, BP, to see who's got this week's Lance O'Sullivan Award.
Yeah, well, this week we're going for a young lady that picked up a double out of Ellerslie. I speak of Jasmine Fawcett, first winner aboard Iridescent. Speed was on, potentially a horse who could have gone forward from a wide gate, let all that speed go, tucked in behind, finished with one last strong sprint down the centre part of the track, and that was off the back of 2 good runs. So that was a race that worked out beautifully for Iridescent and Jasmine. And then the same can be said around Fly My Way also. That there was very good tempo in that race, and Fly My Way, who, as Jasmine spoke about there on race day as well, was caught 3 wide for the trip last start to the race. So she was able to right that wrong. She sat midfield. She moved at the right time. There was a challenger from Superfly, but really did fine nicely down the straight. And probably 2 horses we can follow with a bit of confidence over the next month or so as well. And yeah, Jasmine was able to get it bang on there with both of those performances. And
I don't want to take anything away from Jasmine Fawcett, who's a deserved winner
100%.
of this week's Lance O'Sullivan Award. But red flag, is BP using them to watch replays of horses he's backed, Paul?
I hope he gave her a sling. That's what
BP, please explain yourself. Yeah, it was 2 good bets, two good bets and 2 well-backed commodities.
Yeah, no, purely on the ability of what we saw and what we broke down there, Thaddeus. But I look, not going to lie, certainly had something on both of them, and they both paid very juicy prices.
They did. They were very well backed, and that run from Iridescent from the back was impressive. Should be winning more races. Well done to Jasmine Fawcett, this week's Lance O'Sullivan Award winner. Okay, race number 9 is the next race we want to have a look at, team. The Waikato Stud Foxbridge Plate, 22nd of August. It's not too far away. It's the open mile.
You're headed by Bonnard, who's absolutely flying. We'll be at 75 grades, so that's a step up to open class, but clearly that is your best lead in the first couple of days of trading. 340 you can see graphically now, a $3 fave. In front of Al Veneto at 4.8. Amira de Argento at 5.50. Joshua Brown 8.5. Tease at $9 from the Central Districts, third up. Remains at the mile. Nancy She Wrote. Now, Nancy She Wrote is listed to race today at New Plymouth if you're watching the show live on a Friday morning. So a doubtful starter at $11. Dramatic Miss at 11. And has to be a winner at $12, but the clear lead sits for number 6, Thaddeus.
Okay, yeah, well, we could have picked any number of the last 3 wins, BP. This is the last start, I believe, this win on the track and rating 75 company, and Bonner just run him into the debt.
It was a demo job, it really was, and I spoke to Shane Crawford pre-race, and honestly, you could not have got the script 100% correct pre-race with how he wanted us to see it pan out. And Amber was able to just let it all happen and do exactly what Shane had said pre the race. And he delivered off that promise. He is a very quirky horse. If you'll see him tomorrow, he'll have Shane Crawford under a lot of pressure in the parade ring because he is a very strong customer. So they'll be making sure that they get Amber Riddell on and get the horse round to the start because he's on his toes and he really does cause Shane a bit of problems in the parade ring, that is for sure. But man, he's got some talent. He's posted massive numbers. And I think I like this even better into Saturday, is that he is a natural leader and he should get there with, you'd imagine, not any pressure coming on. So he can get into that relaxed zone like he did last start. He's going to be awfully hard to beat, even though he's stepping up to open grade for the very first time.
Well, that's always the worry, isn't it? But you would have crunched the numbers, Steve, around Bonnard's last start win. What did it tell you?
Yeah, well, the overall speed rating was 3.3 lengths above standard, suggests that if he can replicate or go close, that will clearly measure up to open class. And the beauty was, and we saw there graphically, he was the leader at Te Rapa over a mile, albeit 75 grade, but to the 600 he ran basically par to open class. So it's not like it was a crawl and sprint there against 75 opposition. So if there's one or two horses that are prepared to eyeball him or challenge him, which isn't scripted on paper, but we know can unfold that way, well, good luck to you, because he can sustain a strong gallop over 1,600 metres over, open class standards. So, but yeah, like BP says, he maps to get a gorgeous run and control the race.
That's interesting about him is time to the 600 metre mark, because often that can be the thing about it. So that is good news if you're a Bonnard fan. Next race replay. We don't have to watch this again, do we? Has to be a winner. Wins the race. Second, Lupo Solitario. Oh dear. El Viento runs a very honest third, but has to be a winner for the James Wellwood team. Takes it out, Paul.
Yeah, looked very, very good doing so as well. As you say, up against Lupo Solitario, who did look the winner with about 200, 150 to go.
Yes, he did.
But it was a lovely run race here. 4 has to be a winner. Look, I like the fact that Tom Wigram is on board this time. We get the 4 kilo claim, so down to 56. I'll just have a look. El Viento, who finished in behind, has to be a winner there. Well, there's a 1.5 kilo swing in favour of has to be a winner with that claim by Tom Wigram. We're getting $12 on has to be a winner.
Yeah.
480 on El Viento. Taking nothing away from El Viento. I think El Viento will be right in this at the finish, but we're getting 12s versus 480.
It does seem a big price, doesn't it? Steve, $12 has to be a winner? Tempting?
Yeah, look, Fly My Ways come out of that race, just upgrade the form, but yeah, it's what your way up in terms of 4 kg claimer on a reasonable surface against Craig Grills, even though the weight differential favours number 1 has to be a winner. But look, has to be a winner, was only second up. You'd think he's still got a little bit of improvement, and if he can replicate what he produced at Ellerslie, he has to be right in the finish. So, and a race that's kind of stacked up in the last week or two.
This next horse will be competitive, I'm certain of that. Tees, third up into this, Steve, and this is the last third, I should say, in the Rangatiki Gold Cup.
He got back in a fast run mile, which helped him running into third position. Look, I think in an ideal world, Alan Sharrock and the team would have preferred a wider gate. He's drawn barrier 1 on the weekend, and I reckon he could get dictated to, purely because he doesn't show a huge amount of tactical speed, so he could be buried in the ruck. He'll need a pinch of luck at some stage in running, regardless of tempo, Tees. And look, I've got no doubt he's travelling beautifully this campaign. He was only second up there. That was obviously at 1,600 metres. They might have been tempted to go 2,000, but you know Alan Sharrock's got something in the pipeline he's working back from, and I doubt it's this race. So I think they'll be more than happy if he can finish in the first 4 and hit the line stronger than most. I'm not with him this weekend, but again, if you want to be with him, no huge knock, depending on the price, obviously, but I do feel he's probably half a run short, knowing he's ready to peak 4th up over ground.
Okay, interesting. That's words to take heed of, certainly. BP, look, you made Bonnard your bet of the day that Sunday at Te Rapa, and he certainly romped, and it'll be hard for you to be jumping off the Bonnard ship at this stage, I would have thought.
Yeah, and I think because of track conditions, I actually like the fact that this horse gets a little bit more forgiveness in the ground. That was a forever improving track that he won on, and he handled it, soft 5. But I know, speaking to Shane, that he has suggested that he is a runner that will really excel with forgiveness in the ground. Just on Tees, I think we'll see that horse maybe, a Tamaranui Gold Cup might be a nice option for the horse. That's on the 25th of July. So maybe a chance to sort of have another sighter around Te Rapa. But I'll go with Bonnard. I do like Bonnard, and I think there's maybe a nice chance here to play a same race multi with Tees, top 6. And I think a horse we haven't mentioned. Now, I'll tell you this. Last week, I was thinking, wow, heavy track next Saturday for Joshua Brown. And his run last start, I mean, hello, he is not far away from winning a race, but he doesn't get the heavy track conditions. But boy, what a good run it was out of Whanganui. Everyone just looked at that and thought, ooh, Opanaki Cup back-to-back maybe for Joshua Brown. So he looks on target. He just needs rain. And we've had a fantastic week of weather with the field days on around Hamilton and the Waikato region. It's a 7. It'll still help him, but he might be running on. So we'll lob him in for top 6 as well. Bonnard to win. Those two to run top 6. Comes out at $8. Don't mind that.
Don't mind that at all. You're right. I looked at Joshua Brown. I was like, God, I want to be on off that last run. Rocking is another one that I thought, I was thinking better the day Rocking after what it did last time out. And I think that might need a heavier track as well. So
just
it's
wait.
an interest. Yeah, okay, thank you. Wise words from the sage. From the sage it is. Brendan Popper, I'm going to have to be patient. Not one of my strong suits, Steve. Bets here.
That is true. Look, I'll go with Bonnard. I just like what he produced on the eye, but also backed up on the clock last start at Te Rapa to take the step up to open class. In terms of a price, Thaddeus, I reckon he probably starts with a 2 next to his name, somewhere between $2.50 and $3. So look at the current price. I still think that's a peak quote at $3 if you've missed the original quote of $3.40, $3.50. But you're happy to land with Bonnard as my best for that particular race.
Okay, I've got some good news for you. Stick around, Steve Hunt. Can you get away from Bonnard?
Well,
Not really.
BP's on, Steve's on.
Yeah, I know, it's a
I've
bit
got to
much,
do
isn't it?
something a wee bit different. Obviously, those two will be heading to profit land by backing Bonnard. So I've gone with a little same game multi here. I've got Bonnard top 2, just in case something doesn't quite go right.
Yep.
And then we'll throw Has to Be a Winner in. With that big claim with Tom Wigram for a top 4, and it comes out right now, tick over $5.
I like it. I think you've identified some value and has to be a winner off that last start run, so fair play to you. Yeah,
Watch Bonnard go whoosh.
Yeah, well, exactly. No, it's going to be awfully hard to beat, and Stephen and BP both very keen. Half-time in the show, and we watch a lot of trackside television, as you probably out there do as well, and sometimes you forget about the quality of the presenters we have on trackside, and they have to be able to think on their feet, they have to be energetic, upbeat, but sometimes this just shows you they can even turn the mundane into something interesting.
What have you got? What's going on?
Take a little look at
This is a
this.
stitch
Okay.
up.
This is the bee, thus the chip, here on the Sunday session. All his flowers have been taken and he has to eat the potato chip. He's been going hard for 20 minutes. Oh, look at that little sucker. It's really out, isn't it? This is the humble bumblebee. Without the bumblebee, the world would not survive, as we need it to pollinate the flowers. And without the pollination of the flowers, the world will have no oxygen, and therefore we shall have no breath. Also, we will have no honey, and that is a tragedy. So, little bee, you keep eating that potato, and you humans, stop taking its plants.
David Attenborough, according to what I'm told in my ear, Steve.
An Irish David Attenborough. I heard an Irish one there.
Chip Morris.
BP, we need to see something from you to match that from On Track from Pip.
No, we get up to enough on out the gate. Don't need to start producing something in between races. Good work, Pip. That might have been the audition that helped her propel herself into running the cutter last night on out the gate.
That was the moment producers and directors knew she was ready.
Yeah.
A bit of training with side salads, and if it trots, it wins, etc.
You
But
got it, yeah.
That could have been the moment. She's going to kill us, Pip, isn't she? To be honest.
No, not us. We didn't do it.
No, this had nothing to do with us. Disclaimer.
Yeah.
Disclaimer, Pip.
Nothing to do with us.
We are sorry. Whanganui is the second meeting we have on Saturday. Let's talk weather and track conditions down the River City, Steve.
Yeah, well, look, last meeting was 2 weeks back. Rail was true, soft 5. So a similar setup. Rail just out fractionally 4 metres, soft 7, and improving soft 7. You go back to that meeting 2 weeks ago, Thaddeus, 3 leaders won on a 9-race card. All winners were within 2 lengths of the leader at the 600-metre mark. So again, it did play very much on speed. In saying that, the majority of the races were run at a very sedate tempo. So hopefully a few jockeys show some early intent and we get some true run races. But yeah, again, no knock if you want to gravitate to horses landing thereabouts.
Okay, race number 8 on the cards. The first one we're going to have a look at, it's the Bullocks Group Open Handicap over the 2060, Steve.
Yeah, again, a fairly static market headed by Nigella Lane, who's topping the weights at $3.50. Cheval de Foudre at $4.8. ATM at $6. Kafra, the stablemate of the Fave, at $6.5. Coney Island got the job done for BP at $7 last start. McCann, a potential pace influencer, at $8. And Donnybrook rounds off the single-digit horses at 9.5.
Here's the AGC Training Stakes BP, and Ralph Manning holds a fairly strong hand heading into this one off the back of this run.
He does. He really does. I spoke to Ralph last week, actually, around both of these horses, and he was just trying to find those right options for these horses because, he spoke maybe as a race like the Weight for Age race at Tauranga suitable for, both of these horses. But, of course, Nigella Lane, well, that'd be 1,400 metres. It just felt like Nigella Lane needs more distance, and we can all see that with her performance there. Kafra's run some booming races. You even go back to his Easter performance as well. He's been able to go right-handed, which on that occasion when he ran a great race in the Easter, he's not the greatest right-handed horse, so he needs to find those left-handed races. So they've gone with this option, and it means they are at the top of the handicaps. Both of these horses. Floor Mormon takes the ride on Kafra on the weekend to bring it back to 59 kilograms. And Nigella Lane, of course, with 60.5. It was a booming run from Nigella Lane. She was unlucky, and she was the flashing red light. Now, we see her over more distance, and that's not a problem for her. The weight could be the one that does stop her, but the distance is no issue. She won a Rotorua Cup over 2,200 metres. She's actually been placed here at Whanganui over 2,050 metres. Of course, that was in a Manawatu Breeders. She's been sixth in a Travis. She ran third in a Kaimai over 2,000 metres on top of the ground. She's very adaptable. I'm keen. I'm keen again. She's one of my favourites, and I'm keen to be on side with that performance from last start.
Yeah, put the writing on the wall, you would think. What was Kafra paying that day in the AGC Training Stakes when it got ran over by Electron at a big price? Can you tell me?
No, I've blocked that out, Dad. You know that I don't want to think about that.
Okay. Well, yeah, won't get double figures tomorrow, but it was very good Kafra as well. What about this horse building nicely towards a win, one would suggest? Stayer in the making, Cheval de Foudre.
Yeah, this was his third start back from a spell, and outside Metaverse here. In fact, it was outside Metaverse for pretty much the entirety of the race, and looked like just fading slightly here, and then just had another little dig over that final sort of 50 metres, which gives me a wee bit of confidence heading into Saturday. The start before that ran second to, I think it was Bonnard. Have you heard?
Yeah,
Look,
right.
To be fair, he was a few lengths off the likes of Bonnard. However, there's a wee bit of form being frank there, and I did like the way he picked up again and behind Metaverse to finish strongly. So, yeah, he's certainly in the numbers, and see the bookies have got him fairly safe as well.
Yeah, they have. You're a Cheval de Foudre man, Steve. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, I think it's just a set plan. If you've been backing this horse at 1,600 metres and he hasn't got the job done as yet, I'd stick with him. This is his first time over ground, and even though he's been at 75 grade, he's having to lump the 60 kilograms, and you go back to that previous run, which we've just seen footage of, it was very much a crawl and sprint, and he was flat-footed at the 300-metre mark when Metaverse kicked, and was a deserving winner. It was a peach of a ride that day, but had the race shape to suit, where Cheval de Foudre probably just wanted a faster run mile, and what you saw in the last 50 and through the line was really attractive. So I think stepping up over ground and the fact that he drops in weight, albeit stepping up in class, is a positive.
Okay, what about ATM? We'll have a look at the 2,000 metres last time at New Plymouth. Not a bad spillane, finishes third this day. Autumn Legacy the winner, but ATM for Janelle Miller.
Yeah, look, he led on this occasion, which happens to be his MO, but look, to be honest, Christel probably went out too slow for too long, if that makes sense, that is. The fact that the back markers were able to take off at the 650 without too much pressure to get to a winning position at the top of the straight. I think they are literally about 1.5 lengths off ATM at the top of the straight. So they weren't asked to go that early, and they were presented in the race early enough to challenge ATM. And you see the Autumn Legacy, who goes in one of the features at Te Rapa, getting the job done. So, look, for me personally, he's a horse that likes to get rolling early.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to lead. A couple of wins he's been able to sit off speed fractionally, but the key around those wins, he's been able to take off at roughly around the 1,800 metre mark, which he didn't do last start. He was held up for far too long. So I think if he can, because there is other pressure, Highly Lethal, McCann, Kafra, they're all go-for horses, so he's not guaranteed the lead in this particular race. But if he doesn't lead and he can just sit off them, I think
go.
the key moment will be that 800 metre mark if the take off and put a little bit of pressure in the race, because as I say, he's a free rolling type.
Okay, final thoughts here, BP. You might have nailed your colours to the wall here, I think.
Yeah, I will mention around, of course, the jockey that you mentioned there in ATM and Christopher Del Torre. He did have a number of rides to choose from here as well, because he has been riding that horse ATM. Also, Coney Island, a horse that he does have a good affinity with, but he's gone with Cheval de Foudre, and maybe that's some sort of pointer there from Posty that he's going that way and feels as though that's the one he wants to be on. So he's gone for that over those other two who look to be strong chances. And we know Coney Island enjoys racing here out of Whanganui. It's a step up from 65 grade straight to an open handicap as well at the same time around that horse. But yeah, I'll go Nigella Lane. I do like Cheval de Foudre. I think the horse is setting up nicely. With the same race multi, we'll go Nigella Lane top 2, Cheval de Foudre top 4. And I'm going to play a little double same race multi here. Go Kafra top 5, first time over distance. Yes, is a question mark, but is racing well. That comes out at 650. And then maybe replace Kafra and lob Coney Island in there for a top 5. That comes out at 660. That was a little play we did on Out the Gate last night, which prevailed where we got a little double dip, hoping for that in this race as well.
I like the way he's working this place extra, Paul.
Brendan Profitland Popplewell. I love it, man.
You sticking with Kafra?
Yeah, I have to. I have to. Yeah, heartbreaking last time.
Yeah.
Out. So, look, we're not getting the double digits this time. And slight question mark over the distance, but I think Kafra, just the way that, getting 2 kilos as well. And I thought that run for second last time out was really, really good.
Yeah.
If not good enough.
Not quite.
Not quite.
Good enough. Steve, final thoughts betting the race?
Well, Nigella Lane, even though she has to lump the 60 kilograms, or 60 and a half to be exact, she doesn't know how to go a bad race. So you will get a run for your money. And saying that, I will land with Cheval de Foudre. I just like the setup down in weights, even though he's stepping up in grade, but first time over ground. He's at a nice foundation with a couple of runs over 1,600 metres. So Cheval de Foudre at 4.8. And the last thing I will mention, I think he challenges favouritism. I wouldn't be surprised if he started fave later on in the afternoon. So Cheval de Foudre is my best.
Okay, that is very interesting. Cheval de Foudre taking on Ralph Manning in the Bullocks Group Open 2060.
It was good though.
Yeah, now time for another week. What are we back now, Steve? Friday morning, and what do we hold fire for if we want to back later on?
Yeah, a couple of years. We'll start off in race 7, the 75-2-4. Look, not a bad Spillane. Arguably should have won last start at New Plymouth. I'm just taking a line around its price and Autumn Legacy, who we just saw footage of their winning at New Plymouth, but look, this horse had no luck up the straight. He's placed in New Zealand Cup, so the 2-4 no angle. Loves fourth up. He won on that note last preparation, and again, he's got a great record at Te Rapa. Cosmopolitan, $18 in the rating, 75-14. Tidy last start winner, albeit 65 grade, but his overall body of work this time and has been rock solid. 2 lengths off drops of God, third to Miss Jones. Wide draw, yes, but I think there's enough in the price to take a risk at 18s, particularly if you want to go 1x3. Couple of nars, Force of Nature. In the Open 12, look, soft draw, grills on, great course stats, so there's a little bit going for him, but I thought he was a false favourite, 4.5, just become quite static in ratings. And in race 9, Amira Diagiento at 5.50. Look, best figures for this individual have purely all been on a heavy 8 or worse, so the improving track is against that one.
Okay, interesting. A couple of double figure ones to have a little bit on. Not a bad Spillane and Cosmopolitan with this week's Yeah Nah. Whanganui race 5 is the next one we want to have a look at. It is the 3-year-old event, the Olsen Commercial 3-year-old over the 1,360, Steve.
Headed by Rock All Night, Ace Draw Kelly Myers does the riding at 3.5. In front of Scatterbow at 6.5. She has that second line with 2 other individuals, one of them being Midnight Train and Fly Half. Bell's Boom at $18, Sundown Sav at 10. The Dirty D, the stablemate of the current favourite, $11, and Bell Zoni resumes here for Lisa Latta, Jonathan Riddell combo at 12.
Okay, let's have a look at the Whanganui 3-year-old last time out, and Robbie Patterson will hold a fairly strong hand here. Gee, you had to love the work of Rock All Night. You can see the arrow there, BP. Ends up running second.
Yeah, and the horse who wins the race is in front and up against the rail. So, look, it's a mammoth performance from this horse. And prior to that, we've seen 2 very good runs beaten behind Sierra Leone and a very good win at this venue when putting in the big stride. So, Yep, Winnett was able to get the right sort of run up front, and he's boomed home with a couple of others here that you can mention, but really it was about his performance out of that race, with him finishing into second position. This is a good 3-year-old race, really good 3-year-old race, and I think there's a number of ways you can sort of go with this one. We've got horses that have raced well recently as well, and Midnight Train is probably that other one team where it just hasn't quite been able to get there the last 2 starts. Does it get the opportunity to do so tomorrow?
You'd think so, Paulie, after what we saw. It deserves another win, Midnight Train, but it ran into Scatterbo last time out at New Plymouth, and Scatterbo made it 2 in a row.
Yeah, you can make a case for both of these two here, to be fair. Scatterbo, once again, very, very impressive. Straight to the front, holds him off. I thought Midnight Train did finish off nicely here, kept tugging away, couldn't quite get there in the end, once again. But I really do like the chances. Gets a couple of kilos off with floor on board, so down to 55. Got a handy draw. Yeah, I can make a lot of... there's a lot of boxes that are getting ticked for mine with Midnight Train.
He's been there or thereabouts. I know you've had him on your card a few times, Steve. What do we make of Midnight Train?
I have, and I'm not against him as a whole tomorrow. I go back and I look at that race, and naturally, yeah, the immediate forces, geez, I've been done again. Is he as good as I potentially thought he was? Because earlier this preparation, he was stakes placed in Wellington Guineas, but look, he didn't quite get the job done at Ottawa Park, and he didn't get the job done when a short price favourite New Plymouth. In saying that, they're both sit and sprint affairs, and that can be a leveller, regardless of where you map. I know he was second outer in both races, but it was a real sprint home, so it was basically who could sprint home the best. And I think he's a horse that wants a truer run race. But I think the big asset on the weekend is blinkers go on this individual. He's a horse that just hasn't quite rounded off his races for a couple of reasons, but I think the blinkers will switch him on come the business end. And so if you have done your coin in the last 2 starts, I reckon there's one more chance purely on what I've mentioned, but in particular that key gear change.
Okay, another stick with around Midnight Train. What about this next runner, Steve? Tony Cole trains Fly Half, and yes, it's a maiden, but gee, it was impressive, and it also ticks the Whanganui box here as well.
Yeah, it was a dominant win, all set up by his lead-up runs, finishing third to Armagh and Manolete at Ellerslie. Here she sat 1 out, 1 back, cruising to the race at the right time, and it was game over from the 200-metre mark. Look, the race rated 4 lengths inferior to the 3-year-old event on the same day, which we saw footage of Shameless Star winning, but Shameless Star was a dominant winner. I think she won by about 3 or 4 lengths, so you take that into consideration. But what I like most about that race, Thaddeus, even though the race shape wasn't strong, her last 200 rated well and truly over 3 lengths above standard. So she was rocketing through the line. I liked her gallop. I liked how she pinned the ears back, and her gallop through the line to suggest a slight increase in distance shouldn't be a knock. And I'm willing to trust the eye, even though the overall rating doesn't quite measure up to a lot of those horses on the same day that bounce out of the Shameless Star event. I'm just trusting the eye that she's right in this, and the market's reflecting that. Okay,
BP, final thoughts here. Which way are we leaning in this 3-year-old event?
Oh, maybe one more chance with Midnight Train. The price is available. There is definitely a price if you've been on the last 2 starts and a chance to get back in front. I do like Scatterboo. I thought Scatterboo's run like he can do the same thing again. So there's no reason why those two can't be in amongst it. Just a little quick story as well. Scatterboo, I'm guessing the horse is named after the New York Giants running back in Cam Scatterboo. Back Cam Scatterboo to be the Rookie of the Year at 51s and was travelling like the winner, like fair income. Jackson Dart was probably the other player that was, and they went toe-to-toe. Week 8 of the season and has a gruesome ankle injury, which puts him on the sideline. And he went from 51s to, before that match, probably $3 to be Rookie of the Year. And it was tier tickets up job. So a bad beat on Cam Scatterboo. He's a good player, though. Can't wait for him and coming up in the NFL for the New York Giants. He is a very good running back, and I reckon this horse can do something similar, get up on speed, and possibly could be hard to catch again. So I'll go with those two, the 1 and the 2, and a nice little same race multi, both top 4, 475.
Omen bet, Paulie.
Well, tell you what, we're a few months out from the start of the NFL season, but BP always seems to be able to slot something in there, a little stat out of the NFL. I love it. Yeah. Sensational. And I agree, Scatterbo will be right in contention. He has already won on the track at the distance, but I just like the way that Midnight Train kept coming there. to finish into second place and behind Scatterbow. So, yeah, Midnight Train for mine.
Okay, blinkers on, as Steve alluded to. Final thoughts, Steve?
Yeah, originally I was really keen on Fly Half, just trust the eye and what she performed last start on the course, similar setup. I think there's two ways of backing it, particularly if you've backed Midnight Train previously, because as BP mentioned, the price is there, $6.50. I had him a clear fave still, even though he's been beaten as a short price fave in his last two occasions. So you can back both and walk away with a little bit of a profit if one of those two horses win a Midnight Train and Fly Half.
Okay. Didn't make the years, though, Midnight Train.
Different venue.
Right. No, it pays to watch, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
As
I'm
the
glad
host.
you're taking interest. Heavens.
No, I told you to wait patiently. This week's People's Boost, a leg up boost rather, is Bonnard.
Whoa.
We're going Bonnard. $3 currently. Max bet $100, $3.60 available on the CAB website or app. Bonnard 3.6, max bet $100.
BP will be able to get back on again.
I can hear him
Has he just
tapping.
fallen off his chair or?
I can hear him tapping.
Wow.
He's still on his chair.
Yeah, that's very good, especially when Stephen's talking about there's going to be a 2 in front of it by the time we get to close to start time. So I guess I will say, look, Nancy, she wrote, is down to run, well, it is running today, isn't it? So what's that, $11 prospect? So we won't have any deduction off that?
I don't think you do on the boost. I do not think you do. I'll have to get that confirmed, but I don't think there'll be a deduction off the boost. So $3.60 will hold up on the leg up boost. So, yeah,
Okay.
Bonnard.
BP checking all those little
Yeah, he's sensitive. See, he doesn't want any rude shocks.
No,
He doesn't want
exactly,
any rude
exactly.
surprises. After
He's
he
already declared it, so he's basically relying on that as a payment already, so he can reinvest later in the afternoon.
Yeah, BB counting the money with Bonnard as the leg up boost, $3.60 on the website or app. Foreplay time for another week. Your chance to win a 4-leg $100 bonus cash multi on our 4 good things of the weekend. Head to the TAB Facebook page. We want your favourite Stradbroke winner is what we want, and we can use Place Extra here, Paul.
Yeah, we certainly can. That's the way to go. Remember, you need the latest version of the TAB app, and then you can click on the old Place Extra, and you can choose up to top 10 on selected races for your singles and multis. That's a sensational way to go, and I know because BP told me.
Look away now, Bevan Sweeney. Have you got anything, BP, that'd be utilising Place Extra this week?
Well, I will say one thing. With your questions over the last few weeks, barring last week, which was your favourite Queensland Oaks winner, you could have said Rough Habit for just about all the other ones. And there's no reason why you can't say Rough Habit again for your favourite Stradbroke. Let's hope we roll that out again tomorrow, which was probably, and without a doubt, one of the best wins you will ever see on a racetrack. I'll go with TriStar. I know TriStar will get back. Let's hope we're not looking for a Rough Habit performance late in the piece from TriStar, but we're only looking for a top 5 at $1.45.
I'm going to head to Whanganui Race 5. We've been talking about this boy for a while. Midnight Train. Look, we only need a top 6. I'm taking advantage of that Place Extra, Thad.
Why not?
Top 6 for Midnight Train. Hasn't finished outside the top 3 for the last 5 or 6 starts. So $1.40 we're getting for a top 6. Midnight Train, Whanganui Race 5.
Yeah, I like that one from you, Paul. I do. Yeah, I'll stay to the same venue. The Open 2060 Cheval de Fujo. We've spoken about this individual in the last 10 to 15 minutes. Top 4 to $1.45.
That would be a rarity, wouldn't it, to be fair?
My word.
I've gone, well, I'm with everyone else. Bonnard top 3 at $1.50 for all the reasons the team have spoken about. That 4-play multi could return you $341.52. Head to the TAB Facebook page if you want to be in with a chance to win that cash. Okay. BP's Extra Race. It's time. Race number 3. It's the Maiden 1400, Steve. It's the RDA Charity Race Day at Cambridge. Wednesday. Maiden 2-year-old and up.
He loves to identify these maiden races, in particular on a Saturday. Headed by Muteki, was an impressive third on debut at $5. Pure Lotus at $6.50. Miss Parker resumed a really good win, or run, should I say, at Ellerslie at $7. Our Speedy Man at $8. Double figures around the rest, including Kind of Blue. But yeah, pretty competitive market, as you can see there graphically.
Yeah, okay, let's go to Ellerslie. Kind of Blue is in this race. No, it's not Ellerslie at all. It's Muteki's run for debut for third. Noble Cabello is second, and Kind of Blue, there it is, finishes 6 BP.
Yeah, this was a race where Aurora Bell was very well found actually in this marketplace. It was a runner who trialled beautifully and lobbed into a good position near to speed for McNabb. Have a look at this horse out wide here. Noble Cabello from back a long way off them. Coco Burge was on and he rides again on the weekend. Really good through the line. And Hunty really taken by your horse in that race too. And Muteki running a nice race into third position. So I think that's a strong maiden race. But yeah, talk me into Muteki.
Oh, well, it was a very good run. She was probably, in an ideal world, suited going to another trial, but we knew the wet tracks were pretty much on our back doorstep and on the horizon. So we rolled the dice, and Marshy was happy to take her to the races, and she did plenty wrong, and she got checked at roughly around the 1,000-metre mark, and she still had the audacity to pick up, and she was stronger than most through the line. So I think with that run under her belt, she'll improve greatly, but I still feel she's probably 6-12 months away, which the Pirancandos, and if you take your time with them early doors, they'll reward you down the road. So, but yeah, she has to be a real chance. Whether she should be favoured, I'm not too sure, but she will run a race.
Okay, what about Miss Parker BP? This is the resumption at Ellerslie for fourth. Good run, as Steve alluded to.
Tell you what, this horse has lobbed up in the maiden of the week a number of times, and I'm sort of going back to the Kygo Scar maiden out of Avondale, where Shoma ran third, and of course Shoma then went on to be Group 1 place and has gone to Australia since. Ran second in the Belle Chevelle maiden, which has been a terrific form reference for that horse going on, of course, to nearly win the Kiwi and win a Group 1. Then ran second in a maiden where it just looked like it was her race behind High Emotion. So she's run a number of good races. She's run fourth there, first time off the back of a break. Just thought that was a very good form line that we can take when you look into the Rock the Night Away reference with how that horse has run out of those maidens and how we've seen sub-winners out of those races. So like what I've seen from the horse, and maybe, just maybe, it's a chance for a horse to break through at start number 11.
What'd you settle on, BP? What was your bet in the race from a strategy perspective?
Look, I did like Noble Cabello at a price. That horse sits at $15. Look, she's going to probably have to replicate the same thing. She's going to have to get back. She's drawn wide. Can she do the same thing second up, I guess, is that little query. But maybe a little each-way play there. And the same with Miss Parker. Just thought she was sitting on the each-way bracket with her form recently in good races. So, yeah, we'll have a little each-way on both the 10 and the 12.
Don't mind it. You couldn't really tip much else.
No, I'm hoping Muteki, fingers crossed for myself and the big group of ownership. But look, I think she's probably got as much upside as any. Whether she gets the job done on Saturday, I'm not too sure. She's still learning her ring craft and whatnot, but she's got a reasonable draw. George Rook jumps on for the very first time, no knock there, and she'll improve greatly, and I think the extra distance will suit.
Okay, go somewhere else for us.
Yeah, well, I'll help him out.
Yeah, the reverse mock.
Exactly. I'm going to go with Al Speedy Man. 2 race day starts to date, both on the Cambridge Synthetic. Craig Grills rode last time out. Runner-up, Craig Grills sticks. Worth a go, I think. Al Speedy Man out at around $8.
Okay, very good. A competitive maiden, BP can find him. There's no doubt about that. Best bet time for another week now. But before we look forward, we need to look backwards.
Well, as the race number 7, a runner that's been unlucky with barrier draws her last 2 starts, but she's run enormous on both occasions, Cosmic Dream.
Down the outside here also is Curve Glory. Further back, Just Go Boom. At the 100, Wine Rocks has mastered Cosmic Dream, and out wide, Curve Glory running on. Ruby Rush late. It's Wine Rocks in front though. Wanted to knock off, but it'll get there. Wine Rocks will beat Curve Glory. Then there's a photo for third between either Cosmic Dream or the late finishing Ruby Rush.
I'll head to Ellerslie, race 4, the maiden 1200, number 2, Manolete.
At the 200, early cheer for Manolete. Running on and behind these, next is Capote along the inside. Early cheer, Manolete on the inside, and Capote. Manolete, early cheer, Capote late. Manolete will get it.
I'm also going to Ellerslie, and I'm also going to race 7. Same race as BP, and I'm taking the stablemate. I like this filly, Arwen.
I've gone to Trentham, race number 6 on the card. It's the maiden 1200 metres, and I'm with the Jim Wallace trained La Chica Bella. Our ROIs didn't decrease, Paul. That was good.
No, steady as she goes.
Yes, steady as she goes. That's the way we like it. BP, not last week, but what about this week?
Yeah, I reckon the track was against the horse too. I know there was some red flags from the team, so but stick with her. She's a nice horse, Cosmic Dream. I'll go with Bonnard. I just feel as though this horse is in a great space at the present. Has run some massive numbers, and he can get to the position that he enjoys, and that's up top. And Amber Riddell knows the horse well too. So we'll run with that. Race 9, Bonnard is the bet of the weekend.
I'll jump on your train, BP. I'm really keen on
Two.
Bonnard. Basically what you've said, but also what we mentioned earlier in the show. Just rated through the roof, albeit 75 grade, but I think it's got enough in the rating, suggests it can take the step up to open class. And as you mentioned, it's a horse that loves to jump, put itself on speed and lead and dictate. So Bonnard, I'll declare as my best for the weekend.
Don't forget the League Up boost as well on Bonnard. I'm going to go to Te Rapa Race 4. It's the Andrew Ledbetter Memorial over the 1,300 metres. I tried to get on Arwen last time, scratched. We're going to jump back on again. That third last time out, full of confidence, I think. She will go well again. Arwen to win.
Not worried about the buried draw, clearly. No.
Don't worry.
Good horses win from anywhere. And I've gone to race number 3 on the card. I'm into maiden, BP's maiden, and I'm going with Miss Parker. Look, she's had 10 starts. She'll be 11 starts tomorrow. She's had 5 seconds. And this was the 4th on resumption here. Didn't have all favours this day. We've seen this replay already. Boxed on well with a nice draw. I think it can go one better. Miss Parker is my bet of the weekend.
Now, give us a little bit of detail why you've declared this horse, because you do have a small ownership at Muteki.
Extremely small ownership, but I will declare that. It won't be troubling anyone, my level of ownership in Muteki. I can tell you that. I'm going for the reverse mock.
Yeah, okay.
Tip something else.
Yep, fair enough.
Muteki wins, but I do think Miss Parker is a nice each-way bet, as does BP. Promo time for this weekend, Paul, and talk to us about this. We've got bonus cashbacks, we've got odd surges, I presume.
Yeah, we certainly do. Bonus cashback on selected races at both Te Rapa and Eagle Farm. As you said, Stratty Day. If your horse runs second or third, get your money back up to $50 in bonus cash. And of course, an odd surge every single race at Whanganui on Saturday. Maximum bet $100. It's a great opportunity. Just get a wee bit more out of the bookies.
Yeah, and don't we love that? BP, it's time to say goodbye. We haven't had a chance to touch on that steeplechase and the hurdles at Te Rapa, but gee, that steeple's mouth-watering. West Coast versus Leaderboard versus Nedwin. We're in for a massive jump season, aren't we?
We are. And even look at the hurdles race. That is a very good hurdle, because you've got Squire, who has just been fantastic on the flat and was caught 3 wide in that race out of Te Rapa a couple of weeks ago and still won. And Pacheco is a real up-and-comer too out of the Sean Phelan barn. So they look to be strong chances, but good to see the Nelson horses there also. And as you mentioned, with what we see there in the Waikato steeplechase. So it's full of depth. Good to see the maiden races there as well in terms of our jumping. So can't wait for that. Just a little one for you. If you're liking Miss Parker and you like that race from Rock the Night Away, have a look at the horse who finished 9th, Prenup. Runs in the very first race at Matamata on Sunday with George Rook aboard, and a little bit further might be a bet for you on the Sunday session.
He's always got something for us. Thank you, BP. As always, enjoy your weekend. I know you will. It's good out. He's good like that, isn't he?
It certainly is. Brilliant.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Well, enjoy your weekend, Paul.
I
What
will.
are we going to be doing?
Super Rugby semi-finals. We've got the Hurricanes. Hurricanes here. 17.5-point favourites up against the Blues in a semi-final.
Don't know if that's enough either.
Yeah, well, the way they've been going.
Exactly. Thanks, Paul. Thank you, Steve. You off to the River City?
Yeah, Whanganui, 9 races. We've touched on a couple of the features, but be there early. There's an intriguing 2-year-old race, a horse by the name of Old Fashioned, the best back runner thus far, not just at Whanganui, but also Te Rapa. The best back runner happens to be a 2-year-old making its debut from the Thurlow O'Malley camp, Old Fashioned. It's up against Sword of Steel and Co. So, yeah, it looks to be a nice way to kick off the program.
Okay, that is the sort of information we need here and expect on the leg up. Thank you to the team, as always, behind the scenes and in front of the cameras. We'll see you in 7 days' time. Thanks for joining us. This has been The Leg Up.